Nike struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. It was announced that Caitlin Clark signed a massive endorsement deal with Nike. This deal was for 8 years, $28 million, and with that, Nike has not done one thing to promote her. We have not seen any commercials, we have not seen any ads.
Remember when Nike couldn't stop talking about Caitlin Clark in college? Now that she's pro, it's like they forgot how to spell her name. Let's break down this bizarre 180 from Nike. Clark was a college superstar, right? She was breaking records left and right, and Nike was all over it. They had billboards in Iowa, ads celebrating her NCAA scoring records. You name it, they did it. It was like Nike and Caitlin were BFFs. But now, crickets. It's so weird. One minute they're shouting her name from the rooftops, the next it's like she doesn't exist. You know what's even crazier? Nike signed Clark to an 8-year, $28 million deal before she went pro. That's huge money, so why aren't they making noise about it? Something's not adding up here. Why would Nike go silent on their golden goose? Let's dig deeper into this mystery.
We have not seen any Caitlin Clark merchandise, and we for sure as hell have not seen any Caitlin Clark signature shoes, saying that since the start of the regular season, sales of WNBA merchandise are up over 500%. So impressive. Another thing that we've seen jump so much this season in the WNBA is merch sales. Fan gear sales over the first half of the season at the highest in league history.
You think Nike would be rolling out the red carpet for their $28 million star. Instead, they've gone radio silent. What's behind this bizarre strategy? The truth involves more than just sneakers and jerseys. Let's talk about Nike's treatment of Caitlin Clark now that she's pro. It's like they've put her in the witness protection program or something. No commercials, no ads, no merch, nothing. It's crazy, right? Think about how Nike usually treats their big stars. LeBron James, they're all over him. Serena Williams, you can't turn on the TV without seeing her face. But Caitlin Clark, crickets. Here's what's even wilder. Clark's WNBA debut was insane. We're talking an average of 178 million viewers.
She is the Michael Jordan. Like, I know you're not a major basketball
Him, I know.
but she is the Michael Jordan of female basketball.
Out with Caitlin Clark playing, 2.12 million on May 14th. 1.71 million on.
That certainly supports the case that Caitlin Clark is the one that not only moved the needle, but possibly broke the needle off.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season.
That's almost 3 times the usual 394,000 for other games. She's bringing in the fans, but Nike's acting like she doesn't exist. So what's going on?
In the WNBA, because the numbers are in for the month of May.
Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 game.
Quote, the Fever set a single season home attendance record of 340,715 fans. Okay, rookie Caitlin Clark was a big reason for the increased interest in the league, ESPN reported on Friday.
Well, there's some drama behind the scenes at Nike. Their stock dropped 20% and they've had to lay people off. Maybe they're too busy putting out fires to promote their new star, but come on, that's no excuse.
Caitlin Clark has set the all-time single-season assist record with 317 and counting.
So Caitlin Clark broke the all-time assist record yesterday.
35 at home, 15,000 on the road. Attendance for the entire league up nearly 50% this year, according to data. The Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road.
Here's where it gets really interesting. There's talk that Nike's worried about how it would look if they gave Clark a signature shoe before Ajo Wilson. Wilson's been in the league for a while. She's an MVP. She's got the credentials, but Clark's the hot new thing. It's like Nike's stuck between a rock and a hard place. NBA agent Nate Jones spilled some tea on this. He said Nike might be playing it safe to avoid controversy. They're scared of the backlash if they push Clark too hard, too fast. But isn't that what Nike does? They've never been shy about hyping up their stars before. Fans are getting pretty annoyed about all this. They're all over social media asking where Clark's merch is, and they've got a point. Clark's popularity could mean big bucks for Nike if they played their cards right.
You saw other folks trying to get at her and trying to get at her team, and you saw fans and all of this other stuff going on, which we will get into, right? Serena Williams, you were watching her.
Correct.
With Simone Biles, you were watching her. Caitlin Clark got you watching the league. She has you transfixed on the entire league. That's why I brought up Michael Jordan and Larry Bird.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season.
But here's the kicker. Nike might not release Clark's signature shoe until 2026 or 2027. That's ages away in sports time. By then, who knows what could happen? It feels like they're missing out on a golden opportunity. It's like Nike's forgotten how to Nike. They've got this amazing new star. Fans are begging for her stuff, and they're just sitting on their hands.
Who has had athletes like Serena Williams, like LeBron James, like Michael Jordan. This is, if you guys remember, when Caitlin Clark was playing at Iowa, Nike ran ads about her. When she broke the record for the most points in NCAA, they had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been crickets. That Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed.
It doesn't make sense. Are they overthinking it? Are they trying to be too careful? Nike's hesitation isn't just about shoes. It's stirring up a debate that could shake the foundation of sports marketing. Are they playing it safe or playing with fire? Let's talk about the mess Nike's gotten themselves into with Caitlin Clark. It's like they've forgotten how to promote a star athlete. But here's the thing, their silence is causing more drama than a last-second buzzer beater.
Who broke the rookie scoring record for a season yesterday when she dropped 35 points en route to a 110-109 victory over the Dallas Wings.
The Indiana Fever rookie broke the WNBA's rookie scoring record. Clark scored a career-high 35 points in her game.
The people at Nike told me that the thing that Caitlin has done is also similar to what Tiger did, but she's even more than that in that she's 22. So she came right out of college and hit, very successful.
First off, there's this whole racial bias thing hanging over Nike's head. All the current WNBA players with signature shoes are white. That's a fact. So now Nike's worried about how it'll look if they give Clark a signature shoe before A'ja Wilson. It's like they're walking on eggshells trying not to upset anyone.
I know this has been a celebratory season in the WNBA dump. I know it has been a record-breaking season. Caitlin Clark is a box office draw. While the rest of the WNBA, it is nothing but a polished turd.
Fourth in the league in MVP voting, and we see all of these things. Certainly she's she's going to be a great player. I'm going to repeat that. Merchandise sales are up 450%.
But guess what? By trying to avoid one problem, they've created another. Fans are getting frustrated. They're all over social media asking where Clark's merch is. And can you blame them? Clark's popularity is through the roof. Her WNBA debut had almost 3 times the usual viewers. That's insane. And
we've got a couple of things. Number one, she's going viral just about 10 or 15 minutes ago. The treatment of these ungrateful, fuggy WNBA players.
I'm going to play a video right now of the former Fever president talking about what Caitlin Clark tried to do for other players.
All right, Caitlin Clark was very aware of the impact she was making around the WNBA.
Here's where it gets really interesting. NBA agent Nate Jones spilled some tea on this whole situation. He said Nike might be playing it safe to avoid controversy. But isn't that what Nike does? They've never been shy about hyping up their stars before. So why start now? You know what's crazy? Nike's silence could actually hurt Clark in the long run. Think about it.
How, with Caitlin Clark playing, $2.12 million on May 14th. 1.71 million on.
So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their games.
That certainly supports the case that Caitlin Clark is the one that not only moved the needle, but possibly broke the needle off. No, we're pulling for the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. That's it.
Every day without promotion is a missed opportunity for her to build her brand. That's money left on the table. And in the fast-paced world of sports, you can't afford to waste time. Fans are getting pretty annoyed about all this. They're saying things like, if only Nike had a product with pent-up demand that would make them gazillions. Ouch, that's gotta hurt Nike. It's like they're sitting on a gold mine and refusing to dig.
The facilitation that Caitlin Clark has, I think, is one of the more underrated skill sets, setting her teammates up for success, and that has boded well for the Indiana Fever.
So that's the heart of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
The answer was no because of the CBA. I mean, it didn't hurt to try.
But here's where it gets really serious. If Nike doesn't step up their game, Clark's management might need to rethink their deal. That's right, that $28 million deal could be in jeopardy. Can you imagine? Nike could lose one of the hottest stars in women's basketball because they're too scared to promote her. It's like Nike's forgotten how to Nike. They've got this amazing new star. Fans are begging for her stuff, and they're just sitting on their hands.
I believe that Caitlin Clark, if they would have released a signature shoe for her this season, they would have made a killing. Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 game. So impressive. Another thing that we've seen jump so much this season in the WNBA is merch sale. You don't need to take all of this time in developing the greatest first shoe for a player.
It doesn't make sense. Are they overthinking it? Are they trying to be too careful? And get this, Nike might not release Clark's signature shoe until 2026 or 2027. That's ages away. By then, who knows what could happen? It feels like they're missing out on a golden opportunity. So here's the deal. Nike's in a tough spot. If they start promoting Clark now, they might face backlash for not giving Wilson a signature shoe first. But if they keep ignoring Clark, they risk losing her star power and disappointing tons of fans. Think Nike's just fumbling with one star athlete? Think again. Their hesitation with Caitlin Clark might just be the catalyst that reshapes how brands approach women in sports. Are we witnessing the birth of a new era in athletic marketing? Let's talk about how Nike's treating Caitlin Clark compared to their male superstars. It's like night and day. When LeBron James joined the NBA, Nike was all over him. Commercials, billboards, signature shoes, you name it. But Clark, it's like she's invisible. This isn't just about Clark though, it's about how brands market women's sports as a whole. Nike's silence is speaking volumes, and it's starting a conversation we've needed to have for a long time. Are female athletes getting the same promotional push as their male counterparts? The answer's pretty clear, and it's not looking good. But here's where it gets interesting. Nike's indecision could actually backfire in a big way.
So why in the world are they being so quiet about Caitlin? Either one, there's some stuff going on behind the scenes at Nike. Hundreds of millions of dollar contract with Nike coming out of high school. LeBron had a shoe going into his first season. They didn't skip a beat.
Fans are noticing and they're not happy. They're asking where Clark's merch is, why she's not in ads, why Nike seems to have forgotten about her. And you know what? These fans have power. Think about it. Every time someone buys a jersey or a pair of sneakers, they're voting with their wallet. If fans start choosing brands that support female athletes more, it could force companies like Nike to change their game plan. And remember when Aja Wilson said, "Always remember what is delayed is not denied." She might be onto something bigger than she realized. This whole situation could be the turning point that leads to more balanced marketing in sports. Imagine a world where female athletes get the same hype, the same promotional push, the same marketing dollars as male athletes. It sounds crazy now, but it could happen, and it might all start with Nike's misstep with Caitlin Clark. You know what's wild? Nike's fear of backlash might actually create more backlash. They're worried about giving Clark a signature shoe before Wilson, but by doing nothing, they're making everyone angry. It's like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and they can't figure out how to move. But here's the thing, this indecision could force Nike and other brands to really think about how they market women's sports. They might have to come up with new strategies, more equitable approaches. It could lead to a whole new playbook for sports marketing. And it's not just about Nike. This could ripple through the entire industry. Other brands might look at this situation and think, we don't want to make the same mistake. They might start pushing their female athletes harder, giving them more visibility, more support. So what can we do? As fans, as consumers, we've got more power than we realize. Every time we watch a game, buy a jersey, or lace up a pair of sneakers, we're sending a message. We're telling these brands what we care about, what we want to see more of. If we start supporting brands that give female athletes the spotlight they deserve, it could change everything. It could force the big players like Nike to step up their game. It could create a whole new level of equity in sports marketing. All right, let's wrap this up. Nike's silence on Caitlin Clark isn't just about one player. It's a wake-up call for how we treat women athletes in sports marketing. It's crazy, right? We've got this superstar and Nike's acting like she doesn't exist. But here's the thing. We've got power as fans. Every time we buy a jersey or a pair of sneakers, we're telling these brands what we care about. We're voting with our wallets, and so next time you're shopping for gear, think about it. Which brands are supporting female athletes? Which ones are giving them the spotlight they deserve? Your choice isn't just about style, it's about who gets seen in sports. Remember, the next time you lace up, you're not just picking a shoe, you're casting a vote for the future of women's sports. That's pretty powerful, huh?